Welcome to the Kenya School of Technology Studies. Pastry. Our today pastry topic is going to be bread making. I'm Stephen Kivuli. The course objective. At the end of this course, you'll be able to identify bread making ingredients, learn stages in bread making, and learn types of bread. Introduction to bread making. The method for making bread dough is the same regardless of the type of bread you want to make. The basic ingredients for bread making are wheat flour, castor sugar, yeast, salt, fat, water or milk. A bread is traditionally considered to be a daily bread. This is why one would refer the work that he does every day as his daily bread and butter. Bread, being a soft meal, is preferred by anybody of any age and at any time of the day. Bread is available in the shops in the form of convenience foods. Those foods that are usually prepared and kept ready for use. Some bread is there in the shops, you can buy. It is there ready. You can buy and use it just the way it is, or you prepare it further to make a certain type of meal. The bread making stages. The bread making stages are mixing, kneading, rising, shaping, proofing, baking. These stages should follow each other in that order in the bread making process. And then we start with mixing. Mixing involves rubbing yeast together with the castor sugar. Yeast is a living microbe and uses sugar as food material. We know every living thing must feed. So the food material is the food for the yeast that we use in the bread making. Yeast is a leavening agent and it gives the bread its desired flavor. Fresh or dried yeast may be used. You dissolve yeast in some of the liquid, that is milk or water. You dissolve yeast. The liquid needs to be blood warm. Not very warm, blood warm. Hot liquid kills the yeast and dead yeast will not help bread making. So actually the warmth of the milk or the water, the liquid that you use, should be lukewarm, that temperature of just the blood. You need to keep the dissolved yeast basin covered until the yeast rises. So now the yeast we've dissolved in the liquid and it is in a basin. You cover the basin and wait for a while so that the yeast rises. Yeast produces carbon dioxide as a rising agent, an important condition for bread making. The yeast reacts with the sugar to ferment and rises to fill the basin. Now, the ready yeast is added to the flour and mixed thoroughly. As you can see in the picture, yeast has been added and mixing is being done. Now we proceed to kneading. Kneading is a process of further mixing of the dough. That is, you mix further the dough to prepare it for bread making. You knead on a floured board, turning the dough lightly until it is firm. So you turn the dough on the floured board, and then you keep on turning and kneading, that is mixing. Be careful not to overhandle the dough in the kneading process. Kneading helps to distribute the yeast, carbon dioxide, liquid evenly through the dough. Kneading in yeast, carbon dioxide and liquid glattens the dough, making it more elastic and of even texture, an ideal condition for a successful dough. In the kneading process, some carbon dioxide is knocked out. Rising process. Rising is a process where the yeast is to increase in size. In this process, the dough is set aside in a warm temperature for a while. The yeast multiples and carbon dioxide is formed, thereby causing the dough to double in size. As you can see in the picture, we have a smaller bowl, the dough that has been mixed, and after keeping it for some time, it has improved in size to almost twice the size. Remember, hot condition kills the yeast, and this must be avoided if the size of the dough is to double. Because actually the function of the yeast is to make the dough increase in size. And if the yeast is dead because of the increased temperature, you find the dough will not increase in size. And then we proceed to the next stage, which is shaping. It is a stage where the dough is formed into a bread shape you want to make, either a loaf, a bun, or a roll. So you can see the first picture, we have the bread dough that has been shaped, and then you have the bun and the roll, the one to the right. So those ones are ready balls that have been shaped to the type of bread that we want to make before we proceed with baking. The bread making tin can be of help while shaping the loaf. So you shape according to the shape of the bread making tin, like the tins that you can see the picture. We have the other one to the right, which is the pizza, which will help you to shape the pizza according to the tin of for baking. We now look at the proving process. Proving is a process where shaped dough balls are warmed up to double in volume. So those balls that you have already formed, you leave them for a while in a warm room temperature, and then you find that with the time they double in size. This must be done before the ball are put into the oven for baking, and that is what we mean by proving. Warming is possible by warm kitchen or natural temperature through the window of the kitchen. So you just leave it in the open area with the warmth in the room, and then you find the size of the balls will increase to almost double the size. Timing is very important in the warming process to avoid overproving. Overproving may lead to a bread of poor open texture, like the bread that you can see in the picture. You find that the surface is broken, it's poor, it's not presentable, and when you pierce the bread, you feel it is of poor texture. So actually this is because of leaving it within the warmth for a long time, and then as a result the dough has over-proofed. And then we proceed to the next stage, which is now the baking of the bread. It is a process of cooking the bread to make it palatable. That is, to give the bread its taste, the color, the smell, the texture that is required for the person who is going to eat the bread. The bread is placed in the oven at a specified temperature for a specified length of time to allow cooking. Let's look at the types of bread. Common types of bread are rolls, loaves, buns, pizzas, biscuits. These we shall examine them in detail one by one in a later lesson. And that is the end of the lesson.